What if I told you that one of the most trusted exercises for building strong glutes might actually be making your body weaker after 50? For decades, we've been told the same thing. If you want strong hips, strong legs, and a strong backside, you need to do squats. And to be fair, squats can be a good exercise. They're not evil. They're not useless. And this is not about blaming anyone. But here's the uncomfortable question. No one really asks, what if squats, the way most people over 50 do them, are no longer serving your body the way you think they are? According to the CDC, falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. According to Harvard Health, aging joints lose shock absorption and tolerance to compressive load, especially in the knees, hips, and lower back. And according to multiple studies in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, hip instability, not leg strength, is one of the strongest predictors of balance problems and chronic lower back pain in older adults. Let that sink in for a moment. Not weakness, not laziness, not lack of effort, instability. Now here's the part no one really tells you. Most squat variations, especially the ones people do at home, are great at working the big glute muscle, the gluteus maximus, but they often miss a much more important muscle for people over 50, the gluteus medius, the muscle that keeps your pelvis level, your hips stable, and your body upright when you walk, turn, or stand on one leg. And when that muscle is weak, your body doesn't stop moving. It just starts cheating. Your lower back works harder. Your knees take more stress. Your balance quietly gets worse. And one day, seemingly out of nowhere, you start thinking, why do my hips hurt when I walk? Why does my lower back get tired so fast? Why do stairs feel heavier than they used to? Most people assume that's just aging. But what if it's not? What if it's not your age? What if it's what you've been training and what you've been ignoring? This is not about fear. And this is not about telling you to stop exercising. This is about something much more important. Making sure the exercises you do today actually protect your independence tomorrow. Because after 50, strength is no longer just about how much you can lift. It's about how well you can stay balanced, how well your hips can stabilize your spine, and how confidently you can move through daily life without pain or fear. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Many one-size-fits-all exercise routines, including endless squats, were never designed for the realities of an aging nervous system, aging joints, and aging balance systems. They were designed for young bodies, not yours. And that doesn't mean your body's broken. It means your body is asking for a smarter strategy. If you're watching this and you're over 50, I'd love to know you better. Drop a comment below with your first name, age, and where you're watching from. This isn't just a video, it's a growing community of people choosing strength, balance, and better movement one small step at a time. Let's be honest, most people over 50 aren't skipping exercise out of laziness. You walk, you stay active, some of you even do squats. Why? Because you were told by doctors, magazines, and well-meaning trainers that squats are essential for strong glutes, better posture, and healthy aging. And again, let's be fair, they're not wrong, but they're not completely right either. Because there's one thing these routines never consider: the way your body changes after 50. Squats are the safest, most effective way to build glutes at any age. But what if that belief is quietly making your body less stable, not more? What if your joints, your nervous system, and your deep stabilizer muscles are no longer supported by the standard advice? Here's what almost no one explains. Squats mostly target the gluteus maximus, the big muscle that gives your butt shape and power. But they often neglect the gluteus medius, the smaller, deeper muscle that keeps your pelvis level and your spine protected. And guess which one matters more after 50? Not the big one, the smart one. The gluteus medius controls your side-to-side balance, how level your pelvis stays while walking, whether or not you feel wobbly on stairs or uneven ground. Most people think, if I just keep moving, I'll be fine. But the reality is this movement without activation is just repetition. And repetition without balance leads to compensation and eventually injury. A study published in Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy 2020 found that weakness in the gluteus medius was a significant predictor of lower back pain. Hip instability, increased fall risk even in people who exercise regularly. Another review in Gait and Posture Journal showed that traditional squats underactivate the glute medius by up to 50% compared to targeted, low-impact side leg movements. Here's what happens when you follow one-size-fits-all routines without adapting to your age. Your body over-relies on large outer muscles. Deep stabilizers like the gluteus medius shut down. Your joints carry the stress your muscles should handle. You start feeling stiff, sore, and tired even if you're doing everything right. Eventually, your confidence in your own body declines. And the worst part, it all looks invisible from the outside until something breaks. You don't need to throw away squats forever, but you do need to add movements that retrain your stabilizers, not just build your big muscles. That's why in the next section, we'll walk through 4 exercises that are better than squats for people over 50. Not because they're harder, but because they're smarter. They activate the muscles that matter most. They respect your joints, and they give you the stability and confidence that squats alone can't. Number 4, side-lying hip abduction. Just lying on your side and lifting your leg. That can't possibly replace a squat, right? That's what most people think. After all, squats feel real. They feel like work. You feel your thighs burn, your heart rate rise. You feel like you did something. But here's the hidden truth. Effort isn't the same as effectiveness. And in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, the most important muscle in your lower body might not need more weight. It might just need to wake up. When you squat, your body primarily uses the gluteus maximus, the large, powerful muscle that helps you stand up from a chair, climb stairs, or lift heavy things. But there's another glute muscle that plays a very different role. The gluteus medius sits on the side of your hip. Its job, keep your pelvis level when you walk. Stabilize your hips when you stand on one leg. Prevent your lower back and knees from overcompensating. And the number one reason it stops working, it's never directly trained. Squats might accidentally engage it, but this small side-lying movement activates it deliberately. A study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy 2019 followed adults over 55 who added this movement to their routine just 3 times a week. After 6 weeks, they improved single leg balance by 28%, walking stability scores by 22%, and reduced complaints of lower back fatigue, and none of them were lifting weights. If this muscle isn't doing its job, here's what happens. Your pelvis starts to tip sideways when you walk. Your knees collapse inward under load. Your lower back picks up the slack and gets overworked. Eventually, every step feels less secure than the last. The smarter and safer solution. Lie on your side, bend the bottom leg slightly for support, extend the top leg straight, slightly in front of your torso. Now here's the key point, your toe down toward the floor. This activates internal rotation at the hip. Then slowly lift the leg sideways, not high, just controlled, no bouncing, no rushing, just precision and purpose. This simple move does what squats can. It targets the muscle that keeps you standing tall without asking your knees or spine to pay the price. Number 3, posterior hip abduction. Wait, didn't we just do this? Why do I need a second version of the same exercise? Great question. At first glance, posterior hip abduction might look just like the previous move, lying on your side and lifting your leg. But there's a critical difference that changes everything. The angle of your leg and the direction your foot is facing. This small adjustment trains your hips to resist an entirely different kind of force, one that becomes far more important as you age. The moment you move your legs slightly behind your torso and rotate your foot up toward the ceiling, your body shifts into a pattern called external rotation. This triggers a deeper layer of your gluteus medius, the fibers responsible for controlling hip stability when your body moves backward or twists, preventing rotation-based falls like slipping sideways or turning quickly. Squats don't train this. Walking doesn't train this. Even most machines at the gym ignore this angle. But life doesn't. Think about stepping off a curb, pivoting on one foot, turning to reach behind you. These are all rotational, off-balance moments, and this movement pattern prepares you for them. In a 2020 study published in Clinical Biomechanics, older adults who added posterior hip abduction to their rehab plans saw a 37% improvement in rotational hip control, marked reduction in lateral sway while walking, improved ability to recover from unexpected balance shifts, and these gains persisted even after 12 weeks. When you don't train this range, your hips lose rotation power. Your knees collapse inward. Your spine twists to compensate. Simple motions like turning to grab a seatbelt become risky. It's not about strength, it's about control. And most people lose it without even realizing. How to do it right. Lie on your side like before, but this time move your top leg slightly behind your body. Now rotate your toes up toward the ceiling. This opens the hip into external rotation. Lift the leg slowly, just a few inches, then lower with control. Keep your upper body steady. Your glute should fire, not your lower back. You're not just lifting your leg, you're retraining your brain to protect your hips from the movements that catch most people off guard. Number 2, standing hip drop and abduction. I walk every day. Isn't that enough for balance? This is one of the most common beliefs among active adults over 50. And yes, walking is great. It's safe, rhythmic, and accessible. But here's the problem. Walking only moves your body forward. Real balance requires control in every direction, especially side to side. And that's exactly where falls tend to happen. Think of your pelvis as a platform. Every time you lift one foot off the ground, your gluteus medius on the opposite side has to hold that platform level. If it doesn't, your pelvis drops, your spine tilts, your knee collapses inward, and you feel wobbly. This chain reaction is subtle but incredibly common in aging adults. And most popular exercises like squats, lunges, or leg presses. They don't challenge this system at all, but this standing hip drop movement does. A 2018 study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that hip drop drills significantly improve pelvic symmetry, proprioception, your body's internal GPS, and single leg stability in adults over 55. These are not just athletic markers. They're everyday life markers, whether you can step off a curb safely, put on pants without sitting down, turn quickly without losing footing. When your glute medius can't stabilize side-to-side movement, your hips shift out of alignment. Your knees compensate inward. Your balance suffers, and your fear of movement increases. Over time, that fear becomes avoidance. Avoidance becomes weakness, and weakness becomes dependence. But it doesn't have to be that way. How to rebuild lateral control, one step at a time. Stand near a wall or sturdy surface. Shift your weight onto one leg. The opposite leg should hover slightly forward. Toes turn slightly inward. Now slowly swing the lifted leg out to the side. As you do, let your hip on the standing side drop slightly. Then use your glute on the standing side to pull it back up. This tiny motion creates tension on both sides, the moving leg and the stabilizing leg. Don't rush. Let your glutes do the work. This isn't just a leg movement. It's a message to your brain. I've got this. I can stand tall again. Number 1, standing hip extension with external rotation. So now I'm just swinging my leg behind me. How is that better than a squat? Let's be real, this move looks almost too simple. You're standing, your leg goes behind you, and maybe you turn a little. It doesn't feel intense. It doesn't look impressive. But here's the science-backed truth. This move mimics how your body actually loses balance in real life. And more importantly, it retrains your body to recover from it. Most exercises, especially squats, are done in a straight line, moving up and down. But in the real world, life is rotational. You reach behind you, you twist to look over your shoulder, you pivot to grab something from the car or turn in the kitchen. These movements require your gluteus medius and deep rotators to activate together at the same time as your core, lower back, and spine. And if those muscles aren't trained, that's when you lose your footing. In a study published in Gait and Posture 2021, older adults who practice hip extension with external rotation improved their reaction time to instability by 36%, showed greater activation in spinal stabilizers, and reduced asymmetry in pelvic alignment over 8 weeks. This wasn't from lifting weights. It was from controlled movement in the right direction. If your body can't control hip extension and rotation, you become vulnerable when stepping backward. Twisting motions become dangerous, and your balance fails silently, not from weakness, but from lack of pattern recognition. Think backing out of the driveway, turning to catch a falling object, reaching into the back seat. These are the exact moments people trip, twist, and fall even if they've been exercising. Here's how to do it. Stand sideways near a wall or countertop. Shift weight onto one leg. Move your other leg slightly behind your body and rotate your toes outward. As you gently swing your leg back, let your upper body rotate slightly in the same direction. This creates controlled tension from your glute, across your hip, through your spine. Think short, focused, and stable, not big, dramatic, or fast. It's about training control under rotation, not just motion under load. Strength isn't just lifting heavy. It's being able to move with confidence even when life throws you off balance. Let's take a step back. You've probably done your best. You tried squats. You stayed active. You followed advice that said, if you want to age strong, you need to push harder. But what if your strength wasn't missing? It was just being misdirected. What if the problem wasn't you, but the routines that never adjusted for the body you live in today? Because here's what no one tells you. After 50, real strength isn't about pushing more weight. It's about restoring the connection between your brain and your body. It's about retraining the small, stabilizing muscles that keep you from falling. Rebuilding your confidence in movements that once felt automatic. Reclaiming the kind of independence that doesn't show up in gym selfies but shows up when you climb stairs, walk uneven sidewalks, or pick something up without fear. And you don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need perfect health. You just need the right starting point. These 4 exercises. They're not flashy, they're not intense, but they are honest. They meet your body where it is. And over time, they remind your nervous system, your muscles, and your confidence that you are still capable more than you may realize. This is not to scare you. This is to empower you. So start where you are. Even if that means lying on the floor and lifting one leg, even if it feels small, especially if it feels small, because what's small today could be the very thing that keeps you moving, upright, and independent tomorrow. And someday, your future self, the one still walking, living, laughing, will look back and say, thank you for starting. If you found this helpful, give it a like so more people over 50 can see it too. Share it with someone you care about and subscribe if you'd like more simple, science-backed ways to stay strong, steady, and independent.